If you're struggling to grow your Twitter following in 2024, then this video is made specifically for you. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I honestly don't like engaging with other people. I would rather post stuff, get lots of impressions, and people, sending me DMs on their own, not having me to, waste my time engaging on other people's posts. There are two main reasons why you want to have a decent following on Twitter. So reason number one is pretty straightforward. You want to appear as an authority figure in your field, in your niche. And reason number two is simply more people following you, the higher the chance of someone DMing you or going to your website and scheduling a call, and you making, money out of the business relationship. I watched all YouTube tutorials and they're all outdated. They're all showing how to get a following using the follow campaign type that's not even available anymore in the ad account. So let's go into the ad account. When you click on more, you will see ads, and then this will bring you to the ads manager. So when you click on create campaign, you want to avoid creating the simple type. You want to go with advanced. So let's go forward. And if you ever ran Twitter ads, you might remember the campaign type called followers. And unfortunately, that objective type is not available anymore. So I've tested all these objectives to basically find the one that, would work best. And it's pretty straightforward that the engagements objective is the one that has given me the best results so far. What I'll show today, I haven't seen anyone else do on YouTube. So it's important that you follow each step, and I'm also gonna, do my best to explain why I'm doing certain things at certain points of the video. So when you select engagements, you would click next. First things first, you have to give the campaign a name. So let's say we're gonna name it test 1, and then you have to select your funding source. If you've just created the account, you have to first add the funding source. And then we click next, and then you would name the ad group name. I usually like to name the ad group name by the audience that I'm targeting. So I'm in e-commerce. So let's say I'm gonna target e-commerce professional. Okay, so here's the important part. So you don't wanna set a budget anything more than $1 per day. And I'm gonna explain you why. So and this is completely anecdotally, I've tested all different objectives and budgeting. So I even started with campaigns with a daily budget of $20, $30. And usually the engagement rate was lower at the higher budget. So I like to set the daily budget at a maximum of $1 per day. Even if you select the daily budget of $1 and you want to spend $20 per day on the engagement campaign, I'm going to show you what's a better way of doing it to still keep the high percentage of engagement, having the lowest possible cost per engagement. So you would select $1 because from my testing, what I found is that when you give it a $1 ad budget, the algorithm will try its best to give you as many engagements for that small budget. When you put a budget of, let's say, $10, the algorithm becomes a bit more greedy, if that makes sense. So I like to put $1. And I'm going to explain how to scale up if you want to in the next step. I usually put auto bid. I've tried maximum bid. I honestly think that the traffic is worse. So you can actually put lower than 0.3. I think you can go as low as 0.5. Let's see, or 0.1. Yeah, I think 0.1 is the lowest you can go, but let's keep it at auto bid because I think auto bid gives you the best, results regardless. Use pay by engagement. You don't have to put a frequency cap. We're not remarketing. So, we're going to just send the ad to, new people. So that's not a problem. I keep all placements as they are. And then for the targeting. So you can essentially select the age ranges you want to target. I don't want to waste too much time here because what I found is the broader the demographic, the better the results usually are. Unless you want to target a very specific market, then you can go wild with the targeting settings and go narrow, let's say, on the age ranges and gender, etc. Usually what I do is any gender and above 25, because I'm not gonna do business with people 18 years old in most cases. There are 18-year-olds that are very good in business, but I'm not gonna waste money on trying to talk with them. So location, country, usually I go with United States, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom. Sometimes I would expand to Western European countries and add them here as locations as well. And then I don't mess with devices and I don't mess with audience. So now we have targeting features. So what I found here, the best option to be is, let's say you are a SEO agency, let's say. What I would do in that case is I would go to Twitter and find someone who is good in, some authority figure in SEO. So let's say COAC. So they have to be pretty big. Okay, so let's say this is not an agency, it's a journal, but still it's very specific to search engines. So let's take their tag and then let's put here. So here we can see we can actually create lookalike audiences from our seed page or profile. So we took search engine journal, copied it here, and then you can see they have 300k followers, and we can here see they have a global audience size of 115,000. You can now find other profiles here that are about SEO. Let's say we're gonna target SEO people. So here are some recommendations which are very specific. I know some people here. So Neil Patel, Barry Schwartz. So these are all very, very, I would say, relevant lookalikes that we should target. And then you can go one by one and select the ones that so let's say I'm not gonna actually go and read what these are all about, but you get the gist. You would select the ones that are most relevant to the audience you're targeting. So usually I like using just the follower lookalikes as the targeting option. I found it to have a decent reach. It's not too narrow because you don't want to narrow the campaigns too much. You want to have a pretty decent reach. And you can test different stuff. So I don't like testing keywords, maybe interests, but honestly, follower lookalikes is probably the best one you can go with. So then if you want to have a focused targeting on SEO related pages or profiles, then you don't want to turn on optimized targeting, because when you do that, the ads will be shown to people outside of that group that you've selected. So let's say, I would want to get this audience estimate at least to 1 million, because I think this is too low. You don't want to have a too narrow of an audience. So usually with targeting, the bigger the audience, the better. Without further ado, let's go to the next step. This is the important part. What you want to do is essentially, you don't want to create ads from scratch. So let's say, if I go to my page, let's say this ad right here. So sorry, this post right here. When I posted it, the engagement was very decent. And when something does well without paid ads, the chance of it working well with paid ads is much higher than if you would start a post from scratch. So what I essentially do is I post organic content and then see which of that content gets the best results. And then I simply use existing ad here, and I found that organic post. So here we selected money is just a vehicle. So let's try and find it here. So okay, and this is the post that I'm gonna promote, and I click select ad, and now we've selected this ad. We can name it, let's say post ID 1. Now we have our ad. So now that I have my initial ad created, I can simply add 5 to 10 more posts that did well organically and promote them with paid ad. So I think that's pretty straightforward. And I'm not gonna waste too much time explaining how to, copy and add new posts, but just for the sake of showing you, let's say, I don't know, let's say this one did well, and I would select this one. I would name it post ID 1, post ID 2. And now on the left side, you can see we have 2 post IDs so far, and we can create, as many as we want, but usually I like to keep it at 5 to 10. And then I would post this campaign. Now, if you remember, I explicitly left the daily ad budget of $1 per day, because as said before, at $1 you get most bang for your buck. So what would I do if I wanted to spend $10 per day promoting my posts on Twitter? What I would do is simply go back to campaigns. So we would go to Ads Manager. I would not increase the daily ad budget on this particular campaign. What I would do is simply copy the $1 per day campaign and launch it as a copy. So as you can see, this is exactly what I did in this specific case. So this was the initial campaign. I would copy this specific campaign and publish it, leaving everything else the same. The daily budget, the targeting, the ads, everything stays the same. I would simply just duplicate the campaign and launch it as a new one. Hope this was valuable. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below this video, and I will make sure to respond to you promptly. Thank you, and see you at the next one.